Hello friends and welcome to our next video on learning Salesforce trigger. Now we have seen in the previous videos that when to use before and when to use after, how when we had a requirement that we want to insert a child record if a parent record is inserted. So in that case we were using after insert trigger. But let's say we want to do the opposite of that. We want to insert a parent record on after insertion or creation of a child record. So we will write a trigger for that. So we can take any two objects which have any relationship between them. Maybe account and contact is also there. So I generally take examples of account and contact because these are standard objects and are primarily mostly used in any Salesforce or lead account contact. These are three common objects which everyone will be using. Okay. So let's say I go to contact and then I go to trigger. So now the scenario is different. Now the scenario is on inserting contact. I need to insert accounts automatically. So what our event would be? Event would be, let's say, first of all, let me give any name, create account, let's say. Okay, and here this contact, to get associated with an account, it should have that account ID. So before it actually gets committed, we need to pass that ID to contact. So not only the account gets created, you see, this is a bit confusing here, because when we talked about parent we were going after insert, but here what is happening, contact is inserted, then account is inserted, then link contact to account. Okay, so here we need to pass that ID. So what I will do, actually this contact is being inserted but this is not being committed. It will be being inserted in the trigger itself, but that will not be actually being committed to the database. So before that, just so this trigger works in within fractions of second. Okay, so what we will do, we will write here before insert, but because what we want, even you can write after insert as well, but what we want is, but in case of after insert, we will have to again go ahead and query the contact, then pass the ID and then update it. Okay. So what we will do, we will write before insert. Now, let's say we create a list of contacts. Okay. For which accounts to be created. Okay. Con list equals to new list contact. Okay, so we will store all the contact in this list. Now for contact C, okay, so trigger dot new. Now we want to check if an account does not exist for that contact, so only those contacts are of importance for us, because we need to create account for that contact. So either you can simply check if C dot account ID equals to null. Okay, if this is the case, then conlist dot add C. Okay, so if account ID is null, then add that to this conlist. Okay, now just give it a bit space. Okay, now if we were able to find some contact whose account ID was missing, if conlist dot size is greater than 0, or you can use not is empty. This is very important to check the list size, otherwise you will get list index out of bounds errors. Okay, so make sure you do this. So we have got our con list. This means if con list size is greater than 0, then this means we were able to find some contact whose account ID was not there. Now what we will do, I will create a list of account, or let's say, okay, let's say let's create a list of accounts, acc list equals to new list of account. Okay, and let's say now we want to map the contact with account. So see how simple it is. This means we need to create a map as well. Okay, so map string comma contact, and I will just tell you why I am doing this. Okay, so we need actually a field to match with between account and contact. So maybe we can take contact name field, because if the requirement is that if you want to create account automatically on creation of contact, so you will have to pass the mandatory fields of account. Without that you cannot do. Account name is mandatory. Without that you cannot create a account record. So somewhere you will have to pass the value. So what we will do, we will pass the contact name to account name, and by mapping these both names we will be able to know that this contact should belong to this account, and in there we will map it. Okay, so in that case this map will help. So we the string, the key which we will use will be the name. Okay, so just name it anything. Let's say con map equals to new map string comma contact. Okay, so we have created a list, we have created a map, we have assigned space to both. Okay, in the memory we have initialized them by using this new. Now, okay, so now we will go to our list. We will iterate through this con list, and now we will check if the name matches. Okay, so let's say we will specify a variable. Let's say we need to pass the account name, so let's say string account name equals to, and we can use c dot first name. So this is the API name of that. Okay, and let's give some space. Okay, to do plus. Okay, okay, so we will put some spacing in between. C dot last name. Okay, so contact dot first name and contact dot last name combined together will be account name. Okay, now what we will do, we will add these to our map. And as I told you, map has a put method. List and set has add method. Map has put method. So we put account name comma c. Got it? Account name will become key, the string, and contact c is here. So we will be able to map this later. Okay. Okay. And we let's also create account here. Not only this, let's also create account here. Account a equals to new account, and name is mandatory. Name equals to account name. And to bulkify it, we will not insert it here. We will add this to list of accounts. So that's why acc list will come in picture. Dot add a. Okay. And when we come out of this for loop, so here we can have insert acc list. Got it? Okay. Just for bulkification, we do not do DML operation within for loop. So for was here. Okay, so we came out of the for loop and we inserted it. Now our contact is inserted, our account is inserted. So what we will do now, we will go ahead and map the names and then we will pass the ID. So it's very simple now. For account A ACC list, we will iterate on the list of account which we just created. We don't need to iterate and query the whole organization. We just need to update the current account. If the what is the name of the map, if con map dot, okay, contains key. So we are checking if con map dot contains key. Key means the first thing, the first part of the map. Key value pair it is A dot name. Understood? So A, we are iterating on the ACC list. A dot name. If account name is present in the map, this means that this account name has been coming from the current execution. Okay. So do one thing, find the corresponding contact and map the account ID. How we will do that? Conmap dot get. And I told you we specify the key and it gives back the value. So A dot name. If I give get A dot name, so this map will give, we will specify the string and we will get the contact back. Okay. Dot. So we'll get the contact back. Dot account ID equals to A dot ID. Okay. So there was one thing, either could we have created a variable, let's say contact con equals to this, and then in next line we could have said con dot account ID equals to A dot ID. So it's one and the same thing. Okay. So let's get rid of this and we can directly get this from here. Dot account ID equals to A dot ID. Okay. And that's all, because we are writing the trigger on contact and we are making changes to contacts. We don't need to specify explicitly a DML operation that insert contact. That's why you see I never created I've never added use this con list somewhere to add the new contacts. Okay, we never did any DML operation on contact because the account was on contact, and the changes which we are doing, we are passing this account ID to contact is also on contact. Okay, so we don't need an explicit DML operation here. Okay, so hopefully you were able to understand what I was trying to explain here. These small things that don't get confused with this account name was used just to match the contact and account, because you see your Salesforce org can have thousands of contacts and thousands of accounts. So which account to be mapped with which contact, so for that you need to have some identifier. So this account name was identifier because this is the only mandatory field which we are passing. Okay, so that will be all for this video. In the next video we will see more wonderful things. Till then, take care. Bye bye, all the